Hey, everybody, my name is Carl James, and welcome to another episode of Can I Have a Word, the podcast that explores language and how it shapes our identity and the people we become. So it's time for another solo episode. And usually when I am doing these solo episodes, I prep a few days in advance, I mull over the word, and, I put a whole plan together. And I had it all set up. And then I had an experience right in the middle of that prep that sent me in a completely different direction. And so I decided to lean into that. So today's word is forgiveness. Now, it's a word that we're all pretty familiar with. Basically means to give absolution or pardon for something that's been done or said, or, we know what forgiveness is. And I can admit, for me, that forgiveness is something that is hard. I'm not very good at it. Not because I don't want to be, not because I'm stubborn, but I think if you are somebody like me who feels things deeply, it can just be a hard thing to do. And so, forgiveness is hard because hurt lingers, and it lingers for longer than we want it to, and sometimes longer than it should. And so getting to that place where you can, see the other person or recognize that they didn't mean to do it, it was unintentional, any of those things, it can be a hard place to get to, even if that's what you want to happen. And I was reminded about this after watching a documentary recently. So I went to a screening of this documentary, and it's called Daughters. It's available now on Netflix, actually. And if you haven't watched it, I highly, highly recommend it. But essentially, it's a film that tells the story of young girls who have the opportunity to reunite with their incarcerated fathers through a special daddy-daughter dance that takes place at a DC jail. And so this film chronicles the lead up to that dance. And so you see the incarcerated fathers in a sort of men's group talking about what it would mean to reunite with their daughters, and, the relationships that they have and what their daughters understand about why they're incarcerated or not, or how long it's been since they've seen them. And they're sharing very openly and honestly about how emotional that reunion is going to be for them. And then on the flip side, you see the little girls, the daughters, getting to prepare for this dance and talking about what they know about their fathers, if they remember what they look like, and really sort of preparing for this really special moment. And watching it brought up a lot of feelings for me, not because, my father's not incarcerated, neither of my parents are incarcerated, but the thing that really resonated for me in watching this was this idea of forgiveness, and within forgiveness, accountability. And without getting too much in the weeds, I have a complicated relationship with my own father. My father's still here. And I think for me, what I saw and what I've experienced is that my father doesn't always take accountability for things that he's done, for things that he's said. And when people don't take accountability for the mistakes that they've made, you can't really, in my opinion, you can't really apologize for anything. Without accountability, there is no apology. And the documentary film captures this so well. And you have to watch these fathers grapple with the things that they've done, the time that they've been away from home, and the impact it's had on their daughters. And the daughters, in turn, have to grapple with struggling with how to forgive their fathers. What does that look like when you're 5 or 6 years old? Do you even understand conceptually what forgiveness is? And the really difficult part about that is that for them, the daughters in the film, the hurt that's been caused is ongoing. It's not a one-time thing. And so forgiveness is not something that is stationary. It is moving because time is progressing. And so it's an ongoing sort of state that they have to sort of wrestle with. And you see them over time, over a couple of years actually, because they track them through the dance and then beyond. And it's one thing to try to forgive someone if the hurt ends, meaning something was done, something was said, feelings were had, and the person apologizes. Okay, I can get with that. But if it's ongoing, if the fathers are still away, there's still distance, there's still things missing, there's still things that haven't been acknowledged, how do you forgive that? And so what I saw in these fathers was really grappling with their choices, the things that they've done. And the difficult part for me in watching it was I have a lot of experience dealing with somebody who doesn't always do that. And how do you sit with that? And how do you move on from that? And it kind of broke me in watching it, like full on, like crying in the theater. And to be fair, most people were crying in the theater because it's a very emotional film. And regardless of your relationship with your parents, like you will feel it. But if you are like me and you are someone who has a difficult time forgiving, things to think about are whether or not the hurt is still there because it's still going, or are you not letting it go, even though the event itself has ended? Meaning, if it's ongoing, it's going to be hard to forgive because it's still happening. And, forgiveness is not something that's intellectual. It's not rational. And you can't will it into being. So what I try to do is to love as far as I can within the boundaries that I have set for myself, but learning to accept that I'm not going to always get the accountability that I would like. And for me, forgiveness is earned. If you want true forgiveness, the person has to earn it. It's not required. It's not expected always. I think for me, and I think for anyone like me, holding on to things obviously isn't great, isn't helpful. But I think for me, I have learned to accept what I can from people, but also recognizing that I don't have to take everything that is offered to me if it doesn't feel good to me. Meaning, I know what I'm deserving of. And if I'm not getting that, then it's okay that I have some distance, or it's okay that I put up certain boundaries or walls. And I do that so that I can continue to move on and continue to move forward. And so if you really want a lesson in what forgiveness looks like, I would actually really encourage you to watch the documentary, because it's a beautiful film, but more than anything, it is a true lesson in what it means to take accountability and to really sit with what forgiveness actually looks like in practice. And at the end of the day, kids want their parents to fight for them. Meaning, if you've messed up, screwed up, didn't do the right thing, didn't say the right thing, mistakes happen. We all know that. Parents are fallible like everyone else. But you want to know that your parents are willing to do the thing, say the thing, reach you, try to extend an olive branch in the right direction with the hopes of moving your relationship forward. And kids want their parents to fight for them. And even as an adult, a grown ass man, that's something that I still want from my parents. And so I would just encourage anyone who is struggling in that regard to give yourself a little bit of grace and say, forgiveness is hard, but it does have to be earned. And not everyone's going to do what needs to be done to earn it. And you as the individual just have to decide, am I okay with that? And that's a choice we all have to make. And so it's hard and it will continue to be hard. But if you're showing up for yourself and you're really taking accountability for what you need, then that's the struggle that we often have to go through. So nothing clean and tidy about that one. That's just sort of where I'm at and what I was feeling. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. So I'm going to leave it there for now. Yeah, we're just going to sit with that. I hope you have a good one, and join me for the next episode. Thanks, everybody.